Hello, everyone. It's good to see you here today. I'm excited to be talking about what's going on in the economy. But before we do that, we are going to talk about why we're here. So every Tuesday, we talk about the now, the new, and the next in careers so that we can keep you up on what's going on and really just make sure that you don't have to try so hard to know what's coming next and to help your clients in the best way that you can. So say hello, drop me a note in the chat, let me know that you're here. And we have a spooky theme. We have a spooky theme going on today. So tell me in the chat whether you're watching this today or maybe in the future, if you are a Halloween celebrator, what's your favorite costume? What do you dress your kids up as? What are your kids dressing up as? Or your furry friends, your furry pets? If you've got other folks that you've got in your world, what are they dressing up as for Halloween today? My boys, this is their favorite holiday. I think because during COVID, their aunt and uncle would come, and it was one of those holidays that stuck during COVID, and they were little, and that was the biggest time of their life. So they are a Power Ranger and a camo suit. So my 7-year-old is wearing all camo today, and he like gets on the ground and says, "See, you can't see me anymore," and he thinks it's really funny. So no Halloween fun for Laura. That's all right. It's exciting time because we are coming up onto Career Jam. So Career Jam, all about the now, the new, and the next in careers, and what do we need to know about what's going on in the world so that we can help our clients better. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers prepared for next week. It's coming up fast for next week. We will still be live. I'll be on a little bit of a high next week because we'll have had a couple of speakers from Career Jam and be ready to share a little bit of that with you in the early outcomings. And then we've got speakers lined up on our 5 topics of the AI in hiring, 100 and beyond. How do we stay healthy and health and thriving and work at 100 and beyond? AI in the work. So how's it going to change our work? And then we're going to be talking about Gen Z careers and education trends, and then economic trends and what's going on with those. Today, I'm going to give you a little bit of what I've been researching in terms of economic trends and what that means for our work and for our job seekers. So thinking about our work and the economy, we kind of go up and down for the ride, right? When things are bad, we've got people coming to us that need help. When things are good, we've got people coming to us that need help. It's one of the wonderful parts of this job. I got into this work in 2008 when things weren't so great, and people said, "Oh, this is a great time to be a career coach." Well, I'd been getting my master's degree for the 3 years before that. So it had nothing to do with why I chose the field. And I actually thought, it's not really. I mean, helping people when they're not doing well is great, but it's tough, right? It's challenging when people are unemployed and they've been unemployed for a long time and they don't feel like there's many economic prospects. I much preferred this work when people could move more freely and they had the means to move. They had ideas, they had freedom. So I don't know that a bad economy is a great time to get into this work, but I do love that this work helps people in all economies achieve their career goals. So that's why we're here and helping all of you. People saying enjoying others' costumes, awesome. And yep, no Halloween for me. Excellent. So it's so good to see you all. Thank you for joining me. Let's dive in and talk about our economic conversation today. So maybe some of you, there was an economic presentation by LinkedIn last week on what are some of the trends that they're seeing. And I've pulled a little bit of that information today. I'll share some of it with you. If you've never looked at LinkedIn, they have a whole economics graph section of their website. And I just searched economics LinkedIn and it pulls up this site called economicgraphlinkedin.com. I'll put it in the chat for you. And it goes through some of the research kind of month by month of what's going on in the economy. So economicgraph.linkedin.com. They don't have some of the stuff up there that they had in the presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you, but they do talk about what's going on in terms of job security, that there's a decline in hiring across industries. and we're seeing a little bit of a tightening in the market. Are you all seeing that with your clients? Are you seeing the tightening in the job market? I'd love to hear. You can drop that in the chat. Are you seeing that tightening in the market? There is fewer remote jobs. So at one point during 2021, there 1 in 5 jobs was remote. Now it's 1 in 9. So we've seen a big drop in those openings that are remote roles. And that's important for our job seekers to know, especially those that are wanting to look for remote work. It's going to be a tight market. It's going to be a competitive market because of those changes. What we're seeing actually is a slowdown in hiring across the globe. So one of the graphs in that economic section on LinkedIn shows how all industries are experiencing, or not all industries, all locations, so all countries that they include in their graphics are experiencing a little decline in hiring right now. And of course, what does that mean for us? It means that people are going to need more help. They're going to need help standing out. They're going to need help getting focused, because we're also seeing an increase in applications per job seeker. So job seekers are applying to more jobs. That's not necessarily a good thing. We want to help make sure that they're focused, that they're really demonstrating that they're qualified for every job. It's not worth their time right now to apply to a job where they don't have at least 75% of the qualifications. There's no, there's not as much flexibility. So making sure that they're really focused when they're applying, and that they are showing that they have the hard skills, is going to be more and more important as the labor market tightens up everywhere. And yeah, Valerie is saying that tightening everywhere, pricing higher, it's becoming a little bit of a challenge. Now, will this stick around? How long will this stick around? And how prevalent is it? Are some of the things that we want to think about. What's going on here, and where might the gaps be, or the areas of opportunity? So some of the areas that have been hit a little harder. Professional services are one of those areas that have seen a decrease. So that's HR, accounting, finance consultants, professional services. Those are all seeing a little bit of a decrease. We're also seeing just that overall decrease in job openings per applicant. So we're seeing that fall, especially financial services, professional services, hospital and healthcare tightening up a little bit as well. Actually seeing an increase in job openings per applicant in technology. So you've got all these layoffs going on in technology, but you also have more openings in technology. And that's something to watch for. In fact, in one of the graphics that the presenter showed from LinkedIn, technology, information, and media is one of the only lines that's got an uptick right now in terms of openings per applicant. So thinking about what that might mean for your job seekers, even if they're not in technology, what might that uptick in technology, overall technology hiring, mean for them? We're seeing a lower layoff rate than we did kind of the end of last year, beginning of this year, which is good. Obviously, the people who get laid off, that's still not, doesn't matter to them that it's slowed down, but we are seeing a slowdown in the layoffs, and that might help things as they rebound. Where are the bright spots going to be in 2024? Not too surprisingly, utilities, construction, things are still moving in those industries. Information, communication, technology, logistics, transportation. So I heard from one of our other colleagues that there was a post today about, unfortunately, with the conflicts going on in Europe and in the Middle East, that we're seeing an uptick in defense and aerospace spending. How might people use that to their benefit if they've got the skill sets to transfer into those industries? We did see an uptick this year in healthcare, but that's going to slow down. Saw an uptick in financial services, but that is slowing down. And this year we also saw an uptick in education, but that is slowing down. So tighter job openings, but recruiters yearning for good qualified applicants. Yes, that is definitely the what we're seeing. because people are applying to more jobs, but they're not qualified, or they're not demonstrating that they're qualified, which is something we can help them with. And so recruiters are seeing that an increase, but not an increase in people that they can plug into the jobs right away. And how can we help them with that? So we are seeing some more jobs require digital skills, obviously AI being one of those skills that is in demand right now. Also, UX researcher, engineering types of jobs. The gentleman that was presenting on LinkedIn was talking about how hybrid and electric vehicles, they're needing more people that can work on those types of technologies. And the AI transformation is going to continue. So, how can we help our clients not just learn those skills, but figure out how they can apply them in their job? And you all know that if we aren't doing it, our clients aren't going to do it. So, we have so much on our YouTube channel, free things that we've done around how to use AI in our work. We did a session on how to use AI in career exploration. That's free. You just put in your email and it goes straight to you. It's not just about us using the skills, it's about us demonstrating to our clients that we can work through the fear, the challenges, the uncertainties, and start using those skills and learning those skills ourselves. And you definitely can do it. There's a lot of opportunities to do it. So feel free to check out those opportunities. And if you can't find something that we've done on AI, let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you. We did embed those into Career Jam next week because people have been asking for more sessions on using AI in careers work. So in addition to our expert sessions and colleague discussions next week, I'll also be doing 2 more sessions on using AI in job search, not just ChatGPT, but a bunch of other technologies that have come out for job seekers, as well as for us as career practitioners, and then using AI in writing. It just is so important that we keep expanding our skills and experimentation around using those technologies. It doesn't necessarily have to be the prompt engineer, and you don't have to be intimidated by some of those things to just start using it in your work. Excellent. So excited to talk about what's going on in the economy, because we are seeing indications that things will pick back up. The predictions, it's been like this way for, I don't know, 18 months, that the predictions are worse than the reality. And so the predictions for the last quarter were worse than reality. And the gentleman from LinkedIn again was saying that we're seeing that predictions were worse for the fourth quarter, but already they're lightening that up and saying it's going to be better than we expected it to be. It always depends on your industry and, of course, your geographic location and what's going on there, and how does all of the things that are going on in the world impact your part of the world or your part of work and the industry that you might be in. We think about things going on still in Ukraine and how does that impact industry. And, there's certain parts for cars that are made in Ukraine, and they had to shift the supply chain for that. There's also certain types of food. I'm not remembering what he said, but certain kind of food that Ukraine is a main producer of, that supply chain of that had to be figured out. Now with the increased conflict in Israel and Palestine, how will that impact all of us around the globe? And of course, the groups that are working to support those people. And then how can we support the people in the industries that may be harmed by that conflict worldwide? And then perhaps find opportunities that they can connect into because of other things that are going on in the global economy, whether that's the green and growth and sustainability, the EVs, electric vehicles, utilities, looking at, it's a slowdown in healthcare, but you're still going to see small growth in healthcare because of the aging population. And we're seeing some other growths. Where were those? like I said, accommodation, food service. And we might think about, oh, people don't want to work in the restaurant industry, perhaps. So what else does that mean? What else does food services growth mean? And where could our client plug in a way that does fit with their skills and their interests? And that's what we're always looking for, is the peripheral, not just that one specific thing or the first thing you might think about when you think about that industry, but what are all the peripheral support types of jobs, leadership types of jobs, supply chain jobs that will feed into that industry and therefore grow a little bit as well. So feel free to share in the chat what are some of the industries that you're seeing where your clients having some successes. It just helps us all when we can get those ideas of thinking about it just a little bit differently, and where we might uncover some of those opportunities. We were talking a little bit too about people returning to the workforce, whether that was people that retired or people that have been raising families returning to the workforce. And what does that look like, and how will that impact this transition? We're seeing a lot still of fractional, part-time, side hustle types of employment. How can we all support those folks who may not be able to make it with their day job, and so they're wanting to add something else on, or they're wanting to expand their skill set by adding something else on? International uncertainty, yes, is that domestic concern. Exactly. And because of the reduction in hiring that we're seeing for October, so September, October, that started to happen. How is that going to impact things across the globe? And what's not in those numbers? So they talk about, unemployment numbers here in the US may not include people who stopped out of the workforce a couple of years ago and haven't gone back. They are still unemployed. They may be starting to look for work, and that will impact these numbers more as well, as that shifts. And then what are the global opportunities that our clients might be able to tap into virtually and remotely? And then how might we help them shift out of that remote mindset, knowing that there's been that huge shift? I mean, 9-1 in 2021 to 5-1, right? There, 1 out of every 5 jobs was remote 2 years ago, and now 1 of every 9. So it's almost cut in half. If your job seekers are still stuck on remote, that could be challenging their job search. Is there a way to do something different, to find something that does have a hybrid component or a local component, instead of trying to play in that very competitive remote world right now? So I look forward to talking more about what's going on in economics. We have an individual from Public Insight who creates research about the US market, and they're going to come and share some very cool data about compensation shifts, as well as shifts from one industry to another. So what industries are people moving out of and into? And a lot of that data will be something we can apply more globally, even though it's, I'm excited about that. And then Lois Freak, who's a longtime member of our community, who's in Australia and recruits for the Asia Pacific region. She has recently come on and is going to share a little bit about what she sees in her industry. She's recruiting for social focused organizations and green organizations, as well as, of course, in the region, Asian Pacific region that she's in. So you're getting more of those insights every Tuesday here as we decompress from the Trends event next week. And if you haven't registered yet for Career Jam, the price goes up on November 4th. So grab it today and join us next week. You get access to all the recordings, you get access to all the reports, and you get the opportunity to submit a quote for the white paper as well when you sign up to join us for Career Jam. We'll be right back here again next Tuesday. We'll have fun new things to share with you from some of our Career Jam conversations, and talk about the now, the new, and the next in careers. Thank you, everyone. Have a